Today, we're talking about something you all probably care about a whole lot more. We're talking Marvel. We certainly care about it a lot.
Do we?
Yeah.
My favorite cinematic universe.
We're also joined by a good friend of the community. A lot of the viewers know him already, but here he is, Nicholas.
Hey, how you guys doing?
So, Nicholas, do you want to tell us a little bit about your avatar here?
This is the logo for my band, actually. The Banana Boys.
It's been out for 6 days, people, and the link is in the description. So if you haven't fucking heard it yet, what are you doing?
Yeah, go check it out, guys.
So when we hit a lull in the debate, we'll interview you more in depth then.
It's Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel has to go here. I think it's without a doubt the worst MCU movie to ever come out. It's not fun. It's very boring, and that's why it's number 23 for me.
Josh, again, is putting the minorities at the bottom.
Don't worry, Black Panther's higher on my list.
I don't think Captain Marvel is the worst.
No way.
At the same time, I'm not going to die on the hill of Captain Marvel being a good movie. It's not. I like Captain Marvel ironically. I think it's a good movie to like riff with your friends.
Yeah, is it in my bottom 5? Yes. Is it the worst? No.
In my bottom 5 as well. Like I'm in the same boat.
I had a very good night. I didn't want to see it at all, but seeing it with Josh and Nate made it a lot better, even if Alden was pissy at us.
Let's get to Nick with number 22.
But I'm going to have to put Thor the Dark World at number 22.
My number 22.
It's my number 23 as well.
I guess I have that highest out of anybody because I have Thor Dark World at 19.
Whoa, wait a minute.
It is certainly the most forgettable Marvel movie.
Because it introduced the reality stone. Yeah, the red one. The Ninth Doctor is the villain.
Wait, Christopher Eccleston's in that movie?
He plays albino George Washington.
Christopher Eccleston is Malekith.
I watched Thor the Dark World about 3 hours ago, and I can't tell you guys what exactly went on in that film.
Thor the Dark World is a bag of unsalted pretzels.
My number 21, and I guess this is probably going to be spicy, is Age of Ultron. I actually had it at number 22 on my list.
That's kind of what I'm thinking. Like, Age of Ultron is at 18 for me, so it's still low, but I just, 21 seems crazy.
Age of Ultron is my 20th, but Incredible Hulk is at the bottom of my list, and we're going a little far.
Yeah, it's crazy we haven't talked about Incredible Hulk yet.
Incredible Hulk's a little bit higher on my list.
We get there when we get there!
The reason Age of Ultron needs to go here is it was the first Marvel movie to be a massive disappointment.
Age of Ultron is actually number 15 on my list, but I just don't think it's worth a veto.
Surprised we're letting that slide, but at number 20, it is now your turn, Alden.
Okay, Incredible Hulk. This movie sucks.
I have Incredible Hulk at my number 17.
How?
I don't think that it sucks. I just think it's perfectly mediocre.
Damn, Nate, that's 2 for 2. I also have Incredible Hulk at my 17.
Whoa.
And the reason for that is because I have not seen it.
I would rather have a movie that has some really fun moments and some really bad moments versus a movie that's just nothing. That's why I had Ultron above Hulk, because there were at least some parts of Ultron that I really liked.
Jory, what's your number 19?
My lowest movie that has yet to be discussed is actually my 22. And I can't believe that Josh hasn't spoken about it yet. It is Spider-Man Far From Home.
I gotta veto that. I mean, there's a lot of discussion with Spider-Man that you guys have already had, but I'm not letting that be in the bottom 5.
All right, what movie are you nominating in its place?
I'm gonna put Thor down there.
Yeah, that's my 19.
I don't find Thor as offensive as I find Far From Home. I think that there's a lot to like about Thor 1, and I think Spider-Man Far From Home completely misses the mark with that character.
Far From Home is my number 7. I'd be fine if we pushed Far From Home into 18 just so it's not in the bottom 5.
Yeah, so I actually have these movies right next to each other on my list, and my reasoning for why Thor was better was simply because I thought Asgard was interesting.
I do agree with Nate that Asgard is more interesting than Europe.
I like that Thor is kind of like a backwards origin story where the movie starts out where it looks like he's Thor, the god of thunder, and then he's stripped away of everything.
I mean, I said Thor should go here.
That's a 3-2, and I guess Thor is resting at number 19. Josh, what is your number 18?
Far From Home.
I'm just happy it's not in the bottom 5.
All right, Nick, I'm sorry about Far From Home, but you're at number 17. What is it?
I have Captain America, the First Avenger.
Veto.
Okay, Jory vetoed first, but I think 4 of us were about to veto.
The whole panel was gonna veto.
Civil War should go here.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
It was number 19 on my list.
Civil War's also my 19.
Age of Ultron might have been their first big disappointment, but I feel like Civil War was such a much more egregious like sin of a like disappointing movie.
Number 16 for me is Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Lawrence Fishburne was straight up like a Pixar third act villain in this movie.
Absolutely, he was.
But I just had a lot of fun with it, you know?
I kind of want to veto this, but it's not worth it.
Ant-Man and the Wasp is my number 9.
Yeah, it's my number 10.
Yeah, it's my number 21. Alden, are you using that veto here?
No.
Alden, what is your number 15 Burger King foot lettuce?
My next lowest is Infinity War.
Yo,
I'm gonna veto that. I don't have it a lot higher, but I feel like this is one of those where you can't discredit it that much. And what I wasn't expecting was Thanos to be a well-developed character. They hyped this character up for like a decade, and I actually found myself sort of reasoning at least where the character's coming from. And that's something that the MCU has had a problem with since its beginning, is establishing good villains.
Infinity War felt like course correction for me, and like in a good way. All the issues I have with the MCU, Infinity War did what I wished the MCU had done.
Exactly. I think it's one of the few comic book adaptations that is better than its source material.
When the source material is bad, I'm not sure how much I want to give it credit for that.
So the lowest movie that I have that is yet to be discussed is Ant-Man. Almost don't want to put it here now because it feels like we're comparing apples to oranges in terms of the voting process. But the reason I do have Ant-Man this low is the amount of potential that we missed out on. This movie was going to be great. This movie was going to save the MCU for me in a post-Ultron world. And then it just was another disappointment right after a previous large disappointment.
Ant-Man's not that low on my list either, but I feel like to me, it's a pretty obvious choice that Ant-Man is lower than Infinity War.
When you were talking about, Nate, Ant-Man being a disappointment, I certainly feel that and a missed opportunity. However, I think that the missed opportunity in Infinity War is far more egregious than the missed opportunity in Ant-Man.
God, what if they had like a Marvel EU like they did for Star Wars after the original trilogy? Like they just made shitty books.
Do you mean the Marvel uwu?
Josh, come on. Marvel fans can't read.
It's Infinity War. I'm on Infinity War.
I'm on Infinity War.
Yeah, I think I gotta go with Infinity War.
That's just so disappointing.
All right, my number 14 is Black Panther.
I'm watching Black Panther opening night, and Jory's sitting behind me, and the credits are rolling, and Jory comes up to me.
Black Panther's my number 10. That being said, I think it has more yos than it does bras, and that's coming from me.
That's fair.
I agree.
The fact that you liked it and it's at number 14 means that everything above it is at least something watchable to Jory, and that's high praise for the MCU. All right, so number 13, Josh.
Oh shit, I'm next. My lowest one is Thor Ragnarok.
That's fine.
Number 13. It's my number 11.
I have Thor Ragnarok quite a bit higher than I thought that I was going to put it.
Yeah, me too.
I'm not going to argue about it. I have Thor Ragnarok at number 7.
I have it at number 5. I didn't think that Taika Waititi was trying to copy Guardians. I think that they got somebody who would naturally make a movie like James Gunn.
Because I do agree that every movie that came out post Guardians was trying to ape Guardians because that movie was such a smash hit success even for the MCU. But it was absolutely an artificial attempt to change what they had been doing with Thor because it wasn't working.
Nick, it's your turn with number 12.
I'm going to put Spider-Man Homecoming.
I don't have a veto anymore.
Just to remind everyone, we are at number 12, and there are 2 people with vetoes left.
Who's after Nick?
I am.
Shit, you're a wild card. Feel like you told me your number 11.
If it helps at all, my number 11 was Thor Ragnarok. I think I just said it previously 3 minutes ago.
Josh, please. I like Homecoming, Josh.
Homecoming is in my top 5.
Oh my god! Wait, Homecoming is in your top 5? You better fucking veto this.
Homecoming is also in my top 5, Josh, please.
Spider-Man Homecoming at 12 now. This is the last shot.
Ugh, god damn it.
I'm sorry.
We're gonna put the movie with one of the best villains in the MCU outside of the top 10. One of the only villains that's actually good.
You guys put Infinity War lower.
Jory, there was no other way.
So my number 11 is the original, the first one, Ant-Man. I've already brought it up once. I really don't think that Ant-Man is a movie worthy of being in the MCU's top 10 movies. I really don't.
I'm gonna veto.
Josh, you son of a bitch.
So you're saving Ant-Man, but you're sacrificing Homecoming to do it.
No, I'm sacrificing Iron Man 2.
Okay, I'm vetoing. All right, you ready? Because you really like this one. It's Guardians 2.
Your options to vote at number 11 are either Ant-Man, Iron Man 2, or Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
I'm voting Ant-Man.
Ant-Man.
I'm voting Ant-Man.
There doesn't even need to be a debate.
I don't know where this Iron Man 2 love is coming from. I just rewatched it. I don't like Whiplash.
Oof.
What, did Iron Man come out in 2008 and then the second one came out in 2010? You could fucking tell. The script is not good, Nate.
So 2 people used vetoes that they didn't need to use.
Yeah, they didn't want to use it for fucking Homecoming.
So to kick off the top 10, I don't see how Iron Man 2 could move up over any of those movies you just mentioned.
To kick off the top 10, I don't see how Iron Man 1 can move on over any of the movies that we just mentioned.
To kick down the top 10, I'm going to go with the first Avenger.
I agree with Iron Man 1 more than I do the first Avenger.
You can say whatever you want about Iron Man 1, like being like, oh, but it's the first one. It has the after credit scene where Nick Fury comes out and he says, I want to talk to you about the Avengers. But honestly, even in its own series, Iron Man 1, 2, and 3, I think it's the most boring.
I've realized the only movie in the entire MCU that we have not mentioned, except for Nate just now reading the top 10, is Doctor Strange.
That's still not lowest in like the top 10 at this point.
I've only mentioned that I think Iron Man 2 should go here. Does anybody else have any nominees that should go in the number 10 spot?
Yeah, I've heard Iron Man, and I've also heard Captain America: The First Avenger.
So, Josh, it looks like you're going to have to choose your loyalties.
I throw in Iron Man 3.
I'm putting The First Avengers here. I mentioned it earlier. This movie doesn't age extremely well, and I guess you could say that about a lot of the first phase, but really, Avengers is great for its theatrical release and the hype around it, and it really got people on board. If you didn't see Avengers 1 in theaters, I really can't associate with you. Even if you want to give the first Iron Man respect for kickstarting all of this, if that's your validation for it being this high, then I think that's better than Avengers kickstarting the Avengers movies. Because in my opinion, the Avengers movies have gotten progressively worse, as you can tell by Ultron and Infinity War being lower than it. The Avengers don't represent what's great about the MCU, and in fact, they exemplify what's wrong with the MCU. The first Avengers can be at number 10, and I won't lose a single ounce of sleep tonight. It looks like a TV movie.
The Avengers is not even in my top 10, Nate, so I do agree with you here.
The Avengers is my number 10, and I have movies lower than it, but I'm going to jump ship and go for Avengers.
Avengers 1 is my number 12, so I guess I am also going with Avengers here. Okay, so Avengers 1, number 10.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like the number 9 slot is between Iron Man and its sequel.
I would still put Iron Man 3 below.
I have Iron Man 3 lower as well.
I personally would put Iron Man here.
I would also put Iron Man here.
I would vote for Iron Man 2, but I'm completely fine with putting Iron Man here.
I think Alden and I are Iron Man 3.
It's 3-2.
Oh, yeah, I was just saying.
For Iron Man at number 9. We're going to move on to number 8, and it sounds like the 2 movies that are being discussed the most right now are Iron Man 2 and Iron Man 3. Do we want to just put one of them here at number 8?
My next lowest is Iron Man 2.
Yeah, me too.
I know that Nate really likes Iron Man 2.
I know it's a guilty pleasure for you movie for you, Nate, but I don't think it belongs anywhere near the top 5. The fact that it's gone this high is impressive. You should just take the L and have Iron Man 2 go here.
That's fine. The only movie I have lower than Iron Man 2 left is Iron Man 3, which I did, yes, just rewatch for you, Josh. And yes, I did rank higher than I initially placed it. I originally had it at number 11, wasn't cracking my top 10. And guess what? I found out that I like Iron Man 3 more than Black Panther. That should be a huge win for you, Josh. But I also think that Iron Man 3 rightfully belongs at number 8. It is not the best Iron Man movie. I do really appreciate its script. And if I guess we're judging these movies based off their screenplay, I guess we could have an Iron Man 2 versus Iron Man 3 fight here. But really, I do agree with the initial critical response that Iron Man 3 isn't all that great. Iron Man doesn't feel like Iron Man for most of the movie. It feels like a Tony Stark movie, and that's fine critique, and I respect that, but Iron Man 2 is one of the most fun movies we have left.
It's the first time that we actually get, like, a character study since, like, maybe Iron Man 1, if you want to call that what that is.
That's not a character study.
I think it is. I think this is the most ambitious film Marvel has ever made, and a film that a lot of people sleep on.
Oh, I agree with Iron Man 3.
I agree with Iron Man 3.
That's okay, guys.
Sounds like a 3-2.
This could have taken the MCU into a really good direction. It's not my fault they ignored it.
It's not your fault that Iron Man 2 is going over Iron Man 3. I'm sorry that it happened, but it's a 3-2 vote. Just like Iron Man being at number 9.
The Amazing Spider-Man sucks, Nate.
My next lowest is Iron Man 2.
I think that's more than fun. I think Iron Man 2 is my number 7, so I'm not going to lose any sleep over that.
It's my number 7 as well, but I still have 3 movies below it.
Black Panther is just reverse Thor.
Holy shit, I never looked at it that way.
But it's got Coruscant. I mean, Wakanda.
And anyway, that's why Iron Man 2 goes here.
All right, Doctor Strange at 6.
That's fine. That's where it's at on my list.
God, yeah.
I have Endgame lower than it, to be honest.
Yeah, I think Endgame should go.
No.
Endgame lower than Doctor Strange just sounds really weird to me.
Doctor Strange may not be as ambitious as Endgame by any stretch of the word, but Avengers Endgame is such a mess of a movie.
I mean, I'm voting Strange for 6th place.
So am I.
I'm also voting Doctor Strange for number 6, and I just want to thank Nick, one, for his time for doing our stupid show, but also for your awesome interview. I mean, thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you.
We are going into our top 5,
I'm now in a car.
We're going to Target.
and the 5 movies we have left are Guardians, Guardians 2, Captain America, Captain America 2, and Avengers Endgame.
So can I nominate Endgame right away?
All right.
I guess. I think if there's anything I've realized during the recording of this, it is that I like movies and I don't know why. I think that is the main takeaway that I've got. Captain America and Winter Soldier would both be below Endgame.
And I have this low on my top 10. Endgame is my number 9.
I don't know. Watching Endgame without Infinity War would be like watching Return of the Jedi without Empire Strikes Back. It's like, what are you doing?
It would be like watching Deathly Hallows 2 without Deathly Hallows 1.
Well, and yeah, I think I don't think that's a detriment to Endgame. I just thought it was interesting that out of every movie, even though these are all a universe that they're supposed to be following the previous movie, it's the only movie that cannot be watched without other movies.
So it sounds like Avengers Endgame is our number 5. My nomination for number 4 is Guardians of the Galaxy, the first one.
My nomination is Winter Soldier.
My nomination is Winter Soldier.
My nomination is Winter Soldier.
Well, it sounds like we've got 3 on board for Winter Soldier.
I actually have Guardians 1 lower than Winter Soldier, but I was kind of swayed by the previous argument.
I believe that the first Guardians of the Galaxy is one of the first truly great Marvel movies, and I think why it is so great is from the development of those characters and establishing this own mini Avengers of sorts in one movie, and they all feel like developed characters. It kind of falls apart in its third act, which is fine because the first 2 are so great. But between that and the villain I don't give a shit about, it just feels like kind of more of the same old Marvel stuff.
I think that Guardians of the Galaxy 1 is more important to the MCU as a whole. Personally, it was the direction of the rest of the MCU that brings down Guardians 2 for me. Because if they did keep going with movies that were like The Winter Soldier, with the occasional more comedic break of the Guardians series, I think Guardians 2 would be a lot higher for me.
Can I just say that Guardians 2 is more about family than any Star Wars movie ever, period?
The soundtrack of Guardians 1 is better, but
I guess a hot take. I think the soundtrack of Guardians 2 is really good.
I also think it's really good. I just would prefer the first one if given a choice.
My sweet lord, Brandy, you're a fine girl. There's some bangers in there.
Nick, choose between the Guardians.
I have Guardians 2 above Guardians 1.
And our number 2 is going to come down to either Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 or Captain America the First Avenger.
First Avenger.
No.
Come on.
I agree with Nick. First Avenger has to go.
First Avenger is my personal favorite, to be honest.
Same.
I appreciate Captain America. I love the first Captain America. Like Guardians 2, man. It's just a banger of a movie.
I agree. I think Josh and I both have Guardians Volume 2 as our number 1.
Yeah, it's my number 1.
That would make 3 of us who have that at number 1.
It's just so good.
Captain America 1 is tied to Avengers 1 in ways that no other Phase 1 movie is, and they all heavily tease Avengers 1. Because of that, I think that Guardians 2 is also tied to the stronger movie between both of those. So I do completely agree that in the long run, that's going to age a lot better than Captain America will.
I have absolutely no problem putting it at number 2 overall. I think that's a lot higher than the average Marvel fan would put it on their list, and I think it's really fantastic.
I just think Guardians 2 is going to age better as a film, whereas Captain America the First Avenger, as much as I love it, I think people are going to see it more as a puzzle piece to phase 1 more than its actual film, if that makes sense.
I think Guardians is going to number 1.
I do think Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 is going at number 1.
That hurts so much.
Alden, why don't you like Guardians 2?
I feel like ego falls apart in the third act. It's so annoying.
Ego falls apart in the third act. It's kind of what the movie's about, Alden. This has been fun, you guys, but I gotta run. Let me know if Nick is a time traveler.
All right. Love you, Jory.
All right. 23, Thor: The Dark World. 22, The Incredible Hulk. 21, Thor. 20, Captain Marvel. 19, Captain America: The First Avenger. 18, Avengers: Age of Ultron. 17, Captain America: The Winter Soldier. 16, Spider-Man: Homecoming. 15, Black Panther. 14, Captain America: Civil War. 13, Iron Man 3. 12, Ant-Man. 11, Doctor Strange. 10, The Avengers. 9, Ant-Man and the Wasp. 8, Iron Man 2. 7, Spider-Man: Far From Home. 6, Avengers: Endgame. 5, Thor: Ragnarok. 4, Iron Man. 3, Avengers: Infinity War. 2, Guardians of the Galaxy. And 1, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
Number 23, Thor 2 Dark World. Number 22, Avengers: Age of Ultron. Number 21, Ant-Man and the Wasp. Number 20, Captain Marvel. Number 19, Captain America 3 Civil War. Number 18, Ant-Man. Number 17, Incredible Hulk. Number 16, Spider-Man: Far From Home. Number 15, Thor. Number 14, Iron Man. Number 13, Avengers. Number 12, Spider-Man: Homecoming. Number 11, Thor: Ragnarok. Number 10, Black Panther. Number 9, Iron Man 3. Number 8, Avengers: Infinity War. Number 7, Iron Man 2. Number 6, Doctor Strange. Number 5, Avengers: Endgame. Number 4, Guardians of the Galaxy. Number 3, Captain America: The First Avenger. Number 2, Captain America: The Winter Soldier. And number 1, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
23 is Incredible Hulk. 22 is Dark World. 21 is Captain Marvel. 20 is Age of Ultron. 19 is Thor. 18 is Infinity War. 17 is Civil War. 16 is Guardians 2. 15 is Far From Home. 14 is Ragnarok. 13 is Homecoming. 12 is Iron Man 3. 11 is Doctor Strange. 10 is Ant-Man and the Wasp. 9 is Endgame. 8 is Avengers, the first one. 7 is Iron Man 2. 6 is Guardians. 5 is Ant-Man. And 4 is Black Panther. 3 is Iron Man. 2 is Winter Soldier. And the first one is Captain America, the First Avenger.
My number 23 is Captain Marvel. Number 22, Incredible Hulk. Number 21, Spider-Man: Far From Home. Number 20, Thor: The Dark World. Number 19, Captain America: Civil War. Number 18, Ant-Man and the Wasp. Number 17, Avengers: Infinity War. Number 16, Thor. Number 15, Avengers: Age of Ultron. Number 14, Thor: Ragnarok. Number 13, Iron Man 2. Number 12, Black Panther. Number 11, Ant-Man. Number 10, Avengers. Number 9, Iron Man. Number 8, Guardians of the Galaxy. Number 7, Avengers: Endgame. Number 6, Captain America: The Winter Soldier. Number 5, Doctor Strange. Number 4, Spider-Man: Homecoming. Number 3, Captain America: The First Avenger. Number 2, Iron Man 3. Number 1, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
Group one last time that we accumulated together. It's number 23, Captain Marvel. Number 22, Thor 2 Dark World. Number 21, Age of Ultron. Number 20, Incredible Hulk. Number 19, Thor. Number 18, Far From Home. Number 17, Civil War. Number 16, Ant-Man and the Wasp. Number 15, Avengers: Infinity War. Number 14, Black Panther. Number 13, Thor: Ragnarok. Number 12, Spider-Man: Homecoming. Number 11, Ant-Man. Number 10, The Avengers. Number 9, Iron Man. Number 8, Iron Man 3. Number 7, Iron Man 2. Number 6, Doctor Strange. Number 5, Avengers: Endgame. Number 4, Captain America: Winter Soldier. Number 3, Guardians of the Galaxy. Number 2, Captain America: First Avenger. And number 1, Guardians of the Galaxy.
I think this is the first time more than half the panel agreed on a number one.
And Josh are my best buds.
Honestly, I didn't get as much fighting between Nick and Josh as I was anticipating leading up to this list.
Josh, you are a piece of garbage. Not about the MCU, just in general.
Well, no one's going to disagree with you there. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Thank you, Nick, for being a part of this. It was great to have you on. We've got to have you on again some other time. Everyone, check the description one more time for my boy Nick here. He was a great guest. Listen to his music. Blow up those statistics.
Everyone go like nearly headless Nick Core, because I want him to make memes again.
Just in general, thank you, everyone, for giving us your time.
Thank you so much.
What a list.
I'm stuck in a haze. She's a Technicolor girl.